loves! So today I'm going to be doing a story time video, and this is going to be an incredibly creepy, not sure if it was paranormal or not, just creepy, weird, I don't know what actually happened here story time. And this is so insanely exciting because this is one of my very first collabs that I am doing with a group of people. A bunch of my new YouTube friends who also like to tell story times on YouTube all kind of got together and said, you know, we have these stories to tell, why don't we make a giant group collab and give the people like an eternity of weird and cool and funny story times to watch. So the friends that I am collabing with today are
Timmy Tomato, Annie Marie, Jessie V, Jessie Smiles, Nicole Skies, and Milana Coco.
You guys, you're going to love all of these people so much. They are people that I actually watch regularly, that I really love. So if you want to check them out, I will have all of their links down below. But for now, I'm going to get into my story time. Also, I'm filming with a new camera. I finally switched over to a T5i, so I hope the quality is better. My voice is also gone because of Playlist Plague. Also, if you came to meet me at Playlist, holy crap, thank you so much. Playlist was the time of my freaking life, man. And I'm gonna be having some vlogs going up really soon from it. But right before Playlist, actually, I had this weird run-in with my bank. And I'm not gonna give my bank's name or anything like that, you know, for safety and privacy reasons, but I've never had an issue with my bank, and it's like very widely known that this bank is bomb. Like, they do things that a lot of banks wouldn't do, and they're very like, if you call them and you're like, this was fraud, like they refund you instantly. They refund your ATM charges. Like, it's just a really great bank, and I've always liked being with them. But I had an issue a couple of months ago where they shut off my card, my debit card. And I had funds in it, and my purchases were declined, and it was because I was in Georgia visiting my family and I did not call them to tell them. Well, when this happened initially, it took me 3 times of calling them to get my card turned back on successfully, even though they had verified it and everything like that. There was just something going on in the system. So a few nights ago, I got a notice from my bank, and this one was via email, that my account had been shut off due to fraud. And I think that the reason for that was because I bought this new camera. I had just bought like plane tickets for Playlist. I had just done all of these things, and it's like there were a lot of charges on my card all at once. So I understood that. I wasn't upset that there was like a fraud alert on my card. And so this was like midnight, and I called my bank because it's a 24/7 customer service line, and I talked to the girl on the phone, and she was super nice. We had a cool conversation and talked about like how we are night owls and this is just our life. And she cleared up everything on my card. We went over like 20 charges on my debit card, and she just ensured that everything was made by me, and that's a very common practice for banks. Because I feel like I sound like Tana right now with my voice all raspy and like gone and stuff. Tana, I love you. But yeah, like basically we went over all the charges on my card, and that was that. And it takes like 10 or so minutes every time that this happens and my bank shuts off my card. But once again, that's fine because I'd rather be safe than sorry. I'm glad it happened. So I go to sleep, and I wake up around 8 a.m. and I have a text message from my bank saying your debit card has been turned off due to fraud, blah, blah, blah. And this time in the text message form, I can just reply with yes or no. So just to approve all the charges, I went over all the charges on my card, went ahead and said yes. Around noon, I came in from walking my dogs, and this is where the story gets so weird, because up until now, like very normal, you know. I just feel like this is important background information. So they called, they were like, your card has been turned off due to fraud, yada yada. And so I started to call the number back, and I just felt like there was something sort of off about the voicemail. And so I was like, you know what? I've heard of very bad things happening when people call numbers back when they're like, there's a problem with your bank, like, and then they give them information. Let me call my bank directly. So I called the same customer service line that I did the night before, and this is crucial for later on. And I get onto the line with the customer service agent, and this is where I don't know what this was. So the woman answering the phone says, thank you for calling bank name. We're just gonna call it like ABC Bank. That's what we're gonna call it. She says, thank you for calling ABC Bank. My name is da-da-da, and she mumbles something. Who am I speaking with today? And I said, you know, you're speaking to Loey and whatever. And she doesn't really say anything. I hear her typing in the background, and I expect her to speak in a moment. And after a moment passes, she says, thank you for calling ABC Bank. My name is da-da-da. What is your name? And so I tell her again. And then there's a pause. She types something and says, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry about that. Thank you for calling ABC Bank. My name is da-da-da. What is your name? Who am I speaking to?" And when I said it the third time, I was like, wow, this is really weird. And I just said, "Can you hear me okay? Like, do I need to speak up or anything?" Like, I just thought maybe she hadn't heard me clearly the first few times, but it was weird that she hadn't acknowledged that I had spoken. But after that time, she was like, "No, I can hear you fine." It's really strange because every other time that I had called into my bank, they had said something along the lines of, "I see there's a fraud alert on your account. Is that why you're calling today?" And she asks me, "Miss Lane, what can I help you with today? What's going on?" And I thought that was kind of weird, but I was like, I was really frustrated at this point because in total I had spent a lot of my time like getting my bank cleared up. This is something I've done before, and I just wish it was like a very easy process where all I have to do is like verify those 20 or so charges for 10 minutes on my bank, and then my card is usable. But I was just, that's not her problem. That's not her fault. She has nothing to do with any of this. But I was like, I'm just a little bit frustrated. I'm calling for the third time to clear up my bank account because I keep getting fraud alerts on it. Is there any way you could help me out with that? And she's like, "Oh yeah, I can help you out with that, blah, blah, blah." And she goes in, like, I hear her typing, and this is where this story gets weird. She says, "So what account are we looking at? And also, who do I have the pleasure of speaking with today?" For the fourth time. And now looking back, maybe she was just really trying to verify my identity, but this entire call went so strangely, like, nothing about it made sense. I say my name a fourth time, we get into the correct account, and she goes into the wrong account because I have a joint account with my husband and then I have my own account, and then that's the same thing for him. And so she goes into the wrong account, and I'm like, no, I correct her and I send her into the right account. So she gets into reading off charges on my bank account, and she's just starting to verify things. And she reads a charge, let's say at Best Buy, I spent $586.13. She says something along the lines of, "Okay, I see a charge here for Best Buy for $58.63. And I'm just like, are you sure it's not like $583 and blah, blah, because that's what I see on my end and I have my bank account pulled up. And she says, "No, like, I see $58 and blah, blah." And I was like, okay, put that one off to the side. Maybe Best Buy charged me in chunks when I ordered my new camera, my new memory card, my new lenses and stuff like that. But I thought it was really strange that like there was that charge because I didn't see it on my end, and I was like, okay, kind of keep that one off to the side because I don't know what's up with that. And she goes on to the next charge, and my husband and I had pizza the night before, and she said that there was a charge for Papa John's for $158 and like 10 cents. And I was like, I see $15.18. Like, are you sure, like, is everything okay? Like, I didn't want to be a jerk or anything, but it was just weird because now I'm like, this is kind of strange. Can you read that to me one more time? Oh, $15 and like something cents. And I was just like, okay. And I asked her, can you go back to the Best Buy charge just one more time? I just want to really verify because this doesn't make sense to me. Like, something just doesn't seem right here. And she says, oh, sure, your Best Buy charge was $580.15 or whatever it was. And I was just like, this is weird at this point. I'm just feeling a little bit uncomfortable. And I forgot to mention, at one point in the conversation, I asked her if I could speak to someone else. And I didn't want to be rude, but when she kept asking for my name over and over, I just got a weird feeling in my stomach, like something felt off. And when I asked her if I could speak to someone else, she 100% ignored me and acted like I had never said it. And I guess I'm just kind of thinking maybe something's wrong with this woman's like headset or something. I don't know what's going on. So here's what's strange. She only verifies one more charge after that, and the charge is 100% right off the bat. And every other time that I've called in for this, I've had to verify like 10 or 20 or 30 charges. Like, it takes a while because they really want to make sure there's no fraud on your account. And this woman is like, okay, well, I'll go ahead and take care of this fraud alert for you. And I hear her typing, and I'm just like, listen, like, I know none of this has anything to do with you, but is there any way you can put a notice on my account, like a travel notice, that says that I'm going to be out of town. I'm not going to be in my town because I am traveling for work. I'm going to go visit a friend. Like, I'm not going to be home. Is there anything you can do because I don't have the time to like be on the phone? In total at this point, in terms of like getting my bank account resolved, I had spent an hour on the phone between like midnight that night and like this call. And she said, yeah, I can take care of that travel notice for you. And she keeps typing. And then she says something that you really don't want to hear when you are having this particular conversation and everything has been approved. She says, "Okay, Miss Lane, your card has been deactivated and we are sending you a new one." And I screamed. I screamed and I was like, "Why did you turn off my card?" Because we're sitting here and we're having this conversation and I have verified everything on the card. There is no indication in this conversation oh, that rhymed. Hey. There is nothing in this conversation that points to the fact that she should have turned off my card. And in this very like incredulous, like, "You are an idiot," like kind of voice, she's just like, "Ma'am, if there's fraud on your card, we don't want it to be active." And the way that she was talking to me was very different at this point than she had been talking to me before, which makes sense because I literally screamed. I was like, "Why did you do this?" There is like pending camera charges, like my camera can be sent back and I needed my camera to take with me to Florida so that I could film some stuff. There is like pending plane ticket charges. I could not go to Playlist and like not do the things that I need to do. And I'm just like, I'm very, very frustrated. And I never get frustrated with people in customer service because I used to work in customer service and but I was baffled. I didn't understand what had just happened. And she said, "Well, if there wasn't fraud on your card, why wouldn't you have just called the fraud department back earlier?" When I called, she acted like there was nothing on my account. And I had to say that I was calling about a fraud alert for her to even like go into the account. And then she's saying, "Why didn't you call the fraud department back earlier?" So clearly there was something on my account that says that there was fraud. And I just feel like I'm being messed with at this point. Like it feels like a giant joke. And I'm just like sitting there completely and totally silent. And I was just like, "There's no fraud on my account. Like you can't turn off my card." And she says, "Oh, okay." And then in this really high-pitched, like sing-songy, like kid voice, she says, "Bye," and then hangs up on me. And I just sit there for, oh, I've got chills. I just sit there for about 20 seconds and I'm like, what the hell just happened? And so the minute that I have time to recover, I call back my bank. And once again, I really want to reiterate here that this is the same customer service line I called at midnight, that I called a moment ago to talk to this crazy person, and then I called it a third time to like rectify what had just happened with the crazy person. And I call my bank, and the second I get a customer service agent, I'm panicked and I'm like, "I don't know what just happened. I just talked to a woman from here. She turned off my card. Like, can you do anything? Like, can you do anything? Because I can't have my card shut off right now because there's just too much happening. This is a really bad time for this." And the guy on the phone just like sits there in silence for a moment. "Ma'am, there's no reference of you calling in like 20 minutes ago. There's no recorded call on your account. Your debit card hasn't been turned off. Your travel notice that you just talked about is not on your account. You didn't call here." Okay, so have you guys ever watched the movie Oculus, where basically they're in the house and they're making calls out, but they're talking to like the ghosts inside of the house? Like, oh, I have chills. That's all I thought about in that moment. And I'm sure there is a rational explanation for this, but I hadn't called my bank. And yet I had called the same number 3 times in a row. And this is the verified customer service number on their website. I've checked like 30 times. And this is the verified customer service number that I have called so many times before, that I have saved in my phone. Like, who was I talking to? You know what I'm saying? Nothing that had just happened in that conversation previously with that creepy woman even happened. Like, and I looked at my phone. I was like, did I just like sit here and talk to myself for 20 minutes? But I'm telling you guys, if I could do it without like giving away information or like my bank number or anything like that, and you know, whatever, I would just show you the call. But yeah, what the heck? Like, it was really weird. And he was like, "Your fraud alert was cleared up at 8 a.m. this morning." And so he put the travel notice on my account, and I just sat there in silence. And I texted Timmy and I was like, "You have to hear what just happened to me." And he was like, "That needs to be our like Storytime collab. Like, you've got to tell that in the Storytime video." So I'm so incredibly curious, because this woman was not talking like she was on drugs. This woman was not talking like she couldn't hear me very well. Her speech wasn't slurred. Like, she was talking like she understood everything that was coming out of my mouth. But there was such a disconnect, and I just don't understand what happened. If you have any theories, let me know. Because at this point, I just think either number one, I'm crazy and I was talking to myself for like 20 minutes, or two, Like, I talked to a ghost, or like I talked to someone who didn't even work there. Like, that's probably what really happened. I don't know. Mind blown. Okay, really curious to hear what you guys think, but I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you are new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I love making storytime videos, and I also like to make beauty and fashion and like body positivity videos and stuff like that. And if you want to see like more casual vlogs and stuff like that, I have a second channel called LoeyBug that you can check out right now. And if you guys are subscribers of my channel already, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. Please check out all of my friends' videos down below. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye!